guys, welcome back to Topic Tuesdays episode 2. I just wanted to say honestly thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for everyone who honestly just sat and watched my first episode with Taylor last week. It was obviously more of a deep, like heartfelt and emotional one. Today is going to be a lot different, but I just did really want to just say thank you. I appreciate just anyone who sits down and takes a second to watch us. Obviously thank you to Taylor as well. She just made my whole day and I love doing my first one with her. I always feel so comfortable around her. But on to today, so it's going to be a lot different today. It's going to be a lot kind of like quicker, snappier. I'm going to be doing it typical Topic Tuesday styles. I'm going to be flying through what people have written in about their confessions, and there's a whole mixture of them. We've heard from men, we've heard from women, all sorts of different random, wonderful, wild and crazy things. I already looked through some of them and I was like, oh my God. So we're going to jump straight in. I'm going to be reading exactly from my phone. So I always feel rude here sat on my phone, but I do just want to keep it true to typical Topic Tuesday style and speak straight from you guys. So we'll jump right into them. I actually don't know where to start. Some of them have me a bit flustered. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking about this now. I'm a mom. But I do just want to like always come back to like Topic Tuesday style and what used to make us laugh, especially during lockdown when we were all like just going through a real tough time. So let's just jump into them. So the first one that I'm going to talk about, so this is past tense. So she wrote, I spat in my husband's bolognese one time when he really upset me, and FYI, I had a really bad cold. So that's kind of wild and also kind of grossed me out a little bit, but damn, your husband must have really peed you off because that is some serious stuff. I put secret cameras and microphones up around the house to spy on my boyfriend. No, that's wild. That's giving me trust issues, girl. Like, to be honest, I'm quite a nosy person. I'm always like, oh, I wonder what everyone's up to. But like putting cameras and microphones up around your house to spy, like that's crazy trust issues to me.
What's he done?
Yeah, what has he done to piss you off, girl? And then how do you watch it? Like, do you just watch it when you get home? Is it like on record while he's sleeping? Like, how do you rewatch this? Or do you just have like your earphones in when like you're at work, like listening in? And that's crazy. He's going to find them one day. Oh. He is going to find them one day and you're going to be a little bit shook. Honestly, that's crazy. Of course, there's a lot to do with this because I feel like always in typical Topic Tuesday styles, it always comes back to this. But a guy wrote in, I love when guys write in because my audience is so female-based, which I love because I'm here for the women. And also someone wrote in my last podcast, like, Lucy comes across as a man-hater. So maybe I need to work on that. But a guy wrote in, my girlfriend never has sex with me. She's completely uninterested, so I just cheat on her. Yeah, that to me, honestly, I just feel like just break up with each other. Like, I'm going to be real from a woman's perspective. She's not interested for one reason. So like you both need to exit the relationship immediately because like you both have to be fulfilled and something's not working there for both of you to be completely uninterested. And I feel like deep down, like men and women, because I obviously talk about women a lot and I guess I do come across a bit of a man hater sometimes. I'm going to work on that. But like men and women have to be like fulfilled and satisfied. So just exit the relationship and just walk opposite directions because there's no point of cheating and just hurting people in different ways. Like to me, that's just a little bit crazy. This one is wild. I'm obsessed with my best friend's boyfriend. I think I'm in love with him. That's wild. That's wild. Sorry, I'm just speaking to Carl in the background. I do my podcast with him, and as always, he's going to react to what I'm talking about because it's wild. But I'm obsessed with my best friend's boyfriend. I reckon that happens a lot more than people actually think. I think that happens quite a lot, you know. It's never happened to me. I'm not talking from personal experience, but like, because you're around your best friend, I'm guessing, a lot, and her partner. So like, you're just falling in love with them. And I reckon that happens so much. But my question to you is, what are you going to do about it? Because if I put myself, I would just have to like exit the best friends and I'd exit everything, like not go for one or the other, but just be like, I need to take a step back because I'm going to hurt my best friend in either one. So yeah, that is crazy. But also, what is the boyfriend doing to even give off those vibes to invite that feeling? Definitely something is going on too. Because you don't just fall in love with someone for just like being with your best friend. Do you know what I mean? Something else is happening in the background.
Do you think maybe, what if he's just being...
No, I'm sorry.
A bit banter?
Maybe, but like, he must be pretty amazing then to like fall in love with someone just for being a bit bantery when you're with your best friend. Like, what, you're a very like amazing person. That's crazy. This is a really interesting one coming from someone who's just been through a really difficult time from having a baby. But I'm staying with my partner just for my child, but I'm so out of love. It's crazy. There is so many people out there that are like this, but I'm going to say one thing and one thing only. It's going to hurt your child in the long run, because you can't pretend to be in a relationship to protect your child for that long. And the younger they are, I guess it's easier for them to feel less emotions going through a breakup. But the older they get, especially when they get to teenage years, like I never experienced having a teenager. Obviously Ziggy's still 15 months. But like when they come to teenage years and they have those emotions and they're in school and they're going to see their friends, like you can't pretend forever. No. You can't pretend.
And adults think kids don't realise.
They pick up on everything. They're so smart. Like even when you like watch on TikTok and stuff, like little kids will be like, "Mommy, I heard you crying last night. What was happening?" Like parents don't realize how much kids pick up on things. So like, please, if you're trying to protect your child, I don't feel like you're protecting them in the long run. And if you're out of love with someone, it's more loving for everyone to create a beautiful co-parenting situation where you love each other as friends for your child. And I think your child will respect that so much more. But staying with someone just to protect your child, like, I don't feel like is the right thing to do. But I can understand also why maybe a mom is doing that, because when you're a mom, you want to protect everything, but you some things you can't protect. And you have to, if you are not in love with someone, then you can't just force that. You need to know when to let go. Yeah. I fake my orgasm every time just to get it over and done with. Okay, I need to say something. Sex is meant to be enjoyable. It's not meant to be a chore. Like, I feel like nowadays, because life is just lifing all the time, sex is seen as a chore. Like, it's meant to be enjoyable, and women and men are both meant to be super fulfilled, because I also feel like sometimes society creates sex for women to just always please their man. But like, no, it's meant to be completely enjoyable for both parties. So if you're having to fake it every time, you're not being fulfilled in your relationship. And you need to move on to someone, honestly, that fulfills you, because it's such a huge part of life and is the science of us. Like, it's a huge, huge part of life. And I honestly feel like women, we need to enjoy it. It's meant to be something in our lives that make us feel alive and not make us feel like a chore. I mean, sometimes I can understand why it does, because you're tired and you've had a long day and it's the last thing you want to do, so you don't. And then you feel like bad because you're like, oh, but does my partner need fulfilling, blah, 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 blah. And you can go in a bit of that circle. But like every time faking it.
I think if it's happening, or if they're having regular sex with each other,
no, Carl, don't try and excuse this. No, there's actually no excuse. I can honestly say, I don't mind talking about, I've never in my life, never faked it. Because I just feel like, no, I'll just be honest, bro. If it's not hitting, it's not, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
I think that's the problem. There's not that open dialogue. I don't think people like talking about sex.
I don't get why it's so deep to talk about it. But what all I'm saying is like, women, it's meant to be enjoyable and something for us to really, like, be a female in it. Do you know what I mean? Please don't fake it. It just makes me a little bit sad. But I guess some people just want to get it over and done with. I don't know. I always think about how good my sex was with my ex whilst being with my husband of 7 years. Oh, Carl's like biting his fingers in like complete like awkwardness over there. Like, oh, this just makes me sad. like she's getting turned on and aroused by an ex-partner. But it's like that film. Have you seen that show on Netflix? What's it called? Sex Life, I think. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's literally about that. You'll know what I'm talking about if you've seen Sex Life. I think it is on Netflix. It's literally all about that. This woman is in a beautiful, picture-perfect relationship with these kids in this gorgeous, huge American house. She's beautiful. The husband is beautiful, but she's still in love with the first person she met years ago, who's like a bit of like a F-boy. He's like a musician, but she goes back to him because every time she has sex with the husband, she's not fulfilled and thinks about him. So maybe that's only going to end in one direction. Yeah. Also, do you know what? I just feel like life's just a bit too short. Yeah, it is. Just if you're not fulfilled and you're thinking about other things, I just feel like life is just too short. This one's crazy. I bet so many people do this, by the way. I can't be bothered to have sex with my partner, so when he goes to work, I just use my vibrator. It's easier.
I think people are lacking a bit of open communication, open dialogue.
And I also think people are putting sex in the chore bracket again. Like, I just can't be bothered. But it's not meant to be that. It's meant to be a time where you can, like, connect with your partner. But I guess, and I reckon, I know people, like, because this is all anonymous and people won't openly share it on, like, the comments or anything, and I totally understand why. But I reckon, I would say 75% of women would put a tick box as to, like, I've done that, me too. Yeah. Because I guess sometimes if they want to just like please themselves and it's quick and easy and it can be done in like 5 minutes rather than going through the rigmarole with their partner, they will. But as I said again, I just feel like this whole sex thing, it comes up all the time in Topic Tuesdays. I feel like it's one of always the main themes. I would say, tell me your favorite color, and someone would write, but I hate having sex. Like, it's literally just always spoke about. We need to take it out of the chore bracket and into the open communication, being open with your partner and just enjoying that side of your life. Someone wrote, my confession, I'm obsessed with the podcast. Thanks. I really appreciate that. A girl wrote, I have 2 boyfriends, period. How, like, again, with what time? Like, how do you do that? Because you're living a double life and I just can't imagine how it's even possible. Like,
first question, does she still live at home?
Yeah, like, where do you live? What do you do? Like, how do you keep up with 2 men? How do you keep it from one another? Like, how do you do that? Like, that is some professional, like, full job.
Christmas is only around the corner.
Yeah. Where do you go at Christmas? Do you just spend time with your family and tell them both that you're, like, not available? And when does this end? Like, do you, like, pick a favorite and then end it with one of them? But remember, men have feelings just like women. And I guess I'm a pro-female and I'm always talking about women's feelings, but it's not right because you're going to end up hurting someone. And men shouldn't be hurt and put through these things as well. Because if that was a man writing that and it was like, I have 2 girlfriends, I'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. But naturally, because it's like I have 2 boyfriends, but that side needs to come out of me as well because men's feelings, mental health and emotions are so important and they need to be protected. So girl, you're doing the wrong thing and you need to quit this because hurting someone when you have to, wait, unless they know and it's an open relationship. Wow, okay, so they could be cool with it.
She's gonna have to send you a message.
We need to know, girl, we need to know more. And also people are into that.
Yes,
having more, what's it called again? Polyamorous? Is it? Monogamy. No, yeah, that. It's when you're having more than one partner. When I have sex, I imagine I'm being in a public space being watched. I mean, whatever floats your boat, innit? I can think of anything worse, but if that you know makes you happy, then this is not my confession, but a guy I used to work with, when he was drunk, he told me he sniffed his mom's knickers every day from the age of 11 to 16, so for 5 years. I'm sorry, like, I'm not really sure what you want me to say to that.
From 11 to
16. Why? For what? Yeah, silence is my answer. I literally don't even know what to say to that. Let me see. Oh, this one is crazy. You're not going to believe this. I don't know if this is made up. If it's not made up, then I have so many questions. Your jaw's going to drop. I fell asleep on a stranger on the plane. I ended up him off. Period. We have a date next Saturday. So, like, was it just you two on the plane? Was it a private jet? Like, how does that happen? I was asleep with someone on the plane, and then she ended up doing that. How? Who was around? Because, like, I will genuinely sit here and try to imagine that now. Like, I don't know how you do that in private.
I don't get how you go from being asleep to having that.
Yeah, like, were you just like, thank you so much for letting me sleep on you? Like, like, here you go. Like, or like, thanks so much for letting me sleep on you. Oh, I find you really attractive. Oh, we suddenly have loads of sexual chemistry. Oh, that to me is wild. When I read that one, I was like,
yeah, you need to fill in the blanks here.
I'm going to message her and be like, can you let me know a little bit more? Like, can you just explain that one? Because I'm like trying to understand the dynamic. And also, whenever I've been flying, it's packed. That's what I don't understand when people are like, oh, I'm in the Mile High Club. How? Unless you're like, oh, are you in the Mile High Club? Oh, okay. Because I'm like, how do you do that? Like, unless you're in the toilet. But again, that's, first of all, like, it's so unhygienic. It's so small. Unless you're like on Singapore Airlines first class and you've got like your own private like bedroom. How are you in the Mile High Club? Can people just explain it to me?
Did you see that video of, was it EasyJet, the stewardesses?
Coming out of...
They caught the people.
Yeah. Was it like an Ibiza flight?
Probably.
It was two youngsters coming out the toilet and everyone was cheering.
Yeah.
Yeah, wild. But like they made that so bait. They were like, that was obvious. Sometimes I'm like, it's probably easier doing that because you don't have to hide so much. You just make your like intentions like pure and you're just like, this is what we're going to do. Bye. And everyone was cheering. But I don't understand how you are asleep on someone's shoulder and then that's happened.
There's missing details.
We've got to disconnect. But no, the way she's written is like she fell asleep, same time frame. Then this happens, and now we've got a date next Saturday.
But we're going to need to hear from the man then, because if she was asleep...
I feel like this needs to be made into a movie. Wait, no, I don't mean that. No, I don't mean that. I really don't mean that. But you know what I mean? Literally, that is crazy. My boss slept with her boss and got pregnant. They are both married. Like, sorry, I just trash. And this is my thing about marriage. Like, this is why, like, I just don't understand why people do it when they're just not committed. Because, like, it's such a huge thing. It's so expensive in both ways, marriage, divorce. It's such a commitment to then just go and cheat. Like, I feel like marriage is like, just don't get married and just... Yeah, it used to be like, marriage was like such a this. And now it's like, yeah, but we're married, but it, we've just cheated. Like that just, whenever I read stuff about like that, I just feel really sad because now it's just like, now they're pregnant, now a baby's involved, now like marriage and divorce, or like now they're going to keep it a secret, or like, or something's going to happen. Like, yeah, like just, that just makes me really sad. But obviously thanks for sharing. I hate my boyfriend. I don't want to be with him. But I can't leave him alone because I'm scared of being alone. That is super sad, but I reckon it's so common because sometimes it's like people stay in relationships because they want that safety blanket.
I think more so since lockdown as well.
You think?
Because I think people got into a relationship during lockdown and then they're stuck with people they used to be.
Yeah.
And then they come out.
But I just think like beautiful things come from really, really uncomfortable spaces. And if you hate someone, like, yeah, she wrote here, I wanted to double check that the word was hate. I hate my boyfriend. Like, come on, girl. Like, you don't need to stay with someone that you hate. Like, I understand that people go through tough times in their relationships and you can feel like, oh my God, I just hate you. Like, I want to kill you, blah, blah, blah. But period, you hate your boyfriend, like blanket statement, but you just don't want to leave because you're being scared of alone. Like, you're completely cutting off the potential of your life and your future. You could meet someone and vice versa for him. Like, think about him as well. You could meet someone that completely sets your life alight and you're happy for the next however many years. And just don't be scared of uncomfortable things. things like, for example, when I started this podcast, like I was out of my depth. Like, yeah, I love to talk and I thought it would be great, but like I was still super nervous. But like since then, I'm doing the first episode and getting the feedback. It's like great things come from uncomfortable places. So if you're in a relationship where you hate your boyfriend, girl, leave. Out the door. Someone actually wrote a confession, but they were like, please, can you help me? So let's talk about it. I'm living with my girlfriend. It's kind of similar to the other one. I'm living with my girlfriend. She doesn't have sex with me, but there's always an excuse when I try to bring it up. So can you send help? What should I do? For me, like, I think you need to, like, when she comes home from wherever, work or whatever, you place her butt on the sofa next to you. No distractions, not while you're doing the washing up, not while you're doing the talking. No. Sit her down and look her in the eye and you say like, look, I'm not happy. I'm not being fulfilled here. There's a disconnect. Something's not right. We don't have intercourse. That's really important to me. That's a love language. That's how I want to feel fulfilled and how I show love. You always come up with an excuse. And she could turn around to you and say, look, I'm just not happy. I don't want to be with you. But that, like, you have to get that, like, instant connection and conversation, not with like any way that she can pull an excuse in, because you can't suddenly go and say like, oh, we need to go and play tennis, or like come up with an excuse, you know. You have to almost like pin them down, but just be vulnerable and just be raw and just be honest and open up, because so many people are in relationships where they're not happy and you're just wasting your time. Have those open, honest and conversations, and if they don't go the way that you want them to go, you're not in the right relationship, and that's okay. It's okay to not be in the right relationship. True. She might be so caught up in so many things. Like, we don't know if you guys have a baby or like what's been going on, or she might be caught up in like work life and stuff. She might not even realize that she's coming up with these excuses, which is actually in turn making you really unhappy. You have to pin her down and just have a real open, honest conversation where no excuses, and just look her in the eye. Eye contact is so important in conversations. No phones, nothing else involved. And like, I hope that helps. I'm going to try and give my advice on this one, but I've never like even thought about it, to be honest. But so I just got engaged, but I hate my engagement ring and I don't have the balls to tell him. Yeah, it's difficult because I see this in so many ways. So first of all, this is my whole thing with weddings again. One perspective, a wedding ring is a gesture, is a sign of love. Does it matter exactly how it looks like? Second perspective, it's on your hand for the rest of your life. You should love it. Third perspective, when a man is proposing to a woman who he loves and wants to spend the rest of his life with, in my head, he should know what kind of ring she likes, and should know, like, I'll talk about this. My friend won't mind me talking about it, but my friend just got engaged. Actually, not just a couple of months ago. And the detail in the ring, it's like he thought of her in every single step. And of course, she's obsessed with the ring because this, so like, did he just like, does he not really feel it? And maybe he's just like fulfilling like her, I want to get married, like constantly. So he's just got her a ring that she hates. Do you know what I mean? Like, I see so many different perspectives on this. But if it was me, I think I'd just be honest. I'd just be like, look, I don't know though. And this is my thing about weddings. Like, there's so many variables in this. It's really hard for me to give advice because there's so many variables. I don't know more context, but if you feel like, oh my God, I've got this on my ring, on my hand for the rest of my life, like, have the conversation with them. There's a general theme here, and it's just being open and honest with your partner. So that is how I felt about that one. This one's crazy. So I committed fraud against my best friend when I was 4 months postpartum during lockdown. There's no excuse for what I did. It keeps me awake at night. I'll never be able to love myself ever again for doing that. She knows about it. I lost pretty much everyone, and I struggle to make new friends because I don't feel like I deserve anybody. Committing fraud against your best friend is wild. Like, committing fraud against anyone is wild to me. Like, you just, like, don't do fraudulent behavior in any kind of context. But committing fraud against your best friend, she was 4 months postpartum. And honestly, after my journey, I can understand how postpartum can affect females. I'm not sure how it can go that far for committing fraud. But again, the problem is here, context, hun. Like, we need more context for me to actually give, like, my response. I just feel like it's really bad what you did. It's really bad what you did. You've said that. There's no excuse. But don't hate yourself forever. Yeah, like people make mistakes in life all the time. I don't care what anyone says. No one is perfect. I make mistakes. You make mistakes. Carl makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Don't hate yourself for it. I think what's really cool is that you've really taken accountability and you've been really open and honest, but don't limit the rest of your life. I understand that that relationship is gone. If it was me and someone committed fraud against me, I would completely dead the relationship. That is a completely normal expectation of that outcome to have, but don't beat yourself up about it for the rest of your life. I'm really sorry that you were in that headspace where that had to happen, but don't beat yourself up and let yourself evolve and let yourself grow. I'm so for evolving and so for growing because no one is perfect. No one does life perfectly. I don't care who you are or what you say. It just doesn't happen. So like, let yourself evolve from that. You will never, ever, ever, ever allow yourself to do something like that again. So don't beat yourself up, but don't ever do anything like that again because that's freaking wild. Oh, techie one. Real techie one. And this is the workplace ones. I caught my boss cheating in the office, but I'm friends with his wife. I can't bring myself to tell her though.
Did the boss?
Not with her.
No. Did the boss see?
Oh, I don't know. It just says I caught my boss. Well, I caught my boss. So yeah, she's caught him in the act. So no, she didn't just see. She's caught her boss cheating in the office. But she is friends with his wife, but I can't bring myself to tell her. So techie, your job's on the line, your boss is involved, but that's why we have HR, because nothing can happen to you. Like, you've caught your boss doing something inappropriate. From woman to woman, the wife needs to know. Like, I'm not sure how you can have your boss's back on this one. But it's techie. I don't know, because you don't know the work environment. You don't know what kind of company this is. You don't know the setup. You don't know the politics. But I'm hoping there's HR that you have, so like you can always protect yourself. But honestly, woman to woman, like the wife needs to know. Like as a woman, if that was happening, like my husband was cheating on me when he went to work and someone that I'm friends with knew, like that's really deep. And I would really want to know. And I would hope that my friends would always tell me.
You always hear stories about people cheating.
I know, it's crazy. And it's always like the typical like things from the movie, like the pretty secretary. It's like, this is so boring, guys. Like, please come up with something new. Or if you get married to someone, just be faithful. Like, that's the most important part. But that's techie for the girl that's caught them as well. Because it's like, what do you do? Like, your job could be on the line. But my advice, tell the wife. But then it's like, you could be responsible, not responsible because the man is freaking responsible and that's dead ass behavior. Here's the comment going to be like, Lucy's a man hater. But like, it's his responsibility. That's his problem. So like,
it could blow up in her face, like, because she could tell the wife may not believe her.
Oh no, no.
The work.
But she can say core, like true to her core. Like if the wife doesn't believe her and chooses to back the cheating husband, then that's fine. But like you say true to you.
She needs to be prepared for the...
Yeah, that's great advice, Carl. You need to be prepared for the backlash. But as me, I would just stay true to like who you are.
Yeah.
Excuse the cringe, but like I would say that. I can't help but constantly white lie to my partner just to keep him happy. It's really bad. That means you're not comfortable in your relationship. If you have to tiptoe around your partner and like white lie to keep them smiling and stop them from getting like upset or pissed off or angry, like you're not in the right relationship. You should be able to like tell your partner raw and rough everything. Like and also white lying, like you'll trip yourself up because like liars, when you lie, you can't maintain it. Like you'll get tripped up somewhere. The story will start to become like mismatch, and people aren't stupid. And for me, everything always comes to the surface. Like the truth will always come. So if you're not comfortable in your relationship, you need to skip. Like white lying is, why do they call it a white lie? A lie is a lie. Like I don't care how big or small or white or black or whatever you call it. Like a lie is a lie, and you're not comfortable in your relationship, that you have to tiptoe around them, and that also makes me a bit sad. So as I say, there's someone for everyone, and if you're not happy, go spread your wings. There's some funny ones, like I can't walk on bathroom floors. I either have to put a towel down and walk on the towel, or I have to tiptoe. I think that's the thing, you know, I've seen that quite a lot. It's like the feeling of like wet, you know, like to be honest, when I go swimming, I find it really difficult to put my bare feet on the floor when you can see like, do you know what I mean? Like I do automatically tiptoe. Do you do that? Like I can't put my bare foot where someone else is barefoot and there's like dirt.
Like that in hotel floors.
What, even on like the carpet?
I'm very fussy.
I think that's the thing. There's got to be a name for it, like foot floor phobia or something, like FFF. There's got to be a little bit of but like, to be honest, I do hear you on that one. So thanks for that confession, because honestly, especially when I'm in like public swimming pools, like when I used to take Ziggy swimming, oh my goodness. Because it's like the kid, that was always a bit wild. Oh, there's some really sweet ones as well. Just people saying that like they're really trying for a baby. They've been trying for 8 years, but they feel like it's good luck writing in. Well, I'm sending all good energy and good vibes and prayers that it happens for you and your partner. We've got our fingers crossed over here. This is a funny one. I don't know, maybe you could shed light on this. I go through my daughter's phone all the time while she's sleeping. Fair enough, it's in front of her. I think this is so like, really, so many, like how old is she? Like if she's like 19, could be a bit like techie, like she's over 18, but like when they're like, you're still under your wing, like I would check their phone. I will definitely, if I feel like something's going untoward when Ziggy grows up, best believe I'm looking through his phone. But I'll look at it through with him. Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's interesting how people do it behind their kids' back though. It's funny, like I bet that kid rules the roost and they feel like they have to do it behind their back. Okay, this was a really sweet one, but someone actually sent me this one from like a confessions portal. Like it's a thing. So they didn't write it in. I just want to make that clear. So if like people see it online, they're like, oh my God, Lucy took over Topic Tuesdays. Like I didn't, someone sent it to me. But it was like, I have a neighbor who's like, can't afford the Wi-Fi, but they're too proud to like admit that. So I put my Wi-Fi on public, and I changed my Wi-Fi name to like free council Wi-Fi, and told them that like I read about it in the newspaper and found the password for them to have it. By the way, it's obviously his Wi-Fi, and now he can see that family are taking like online qualifications, and he wrote in the confession thing like, it's just made me so happy that he's helping. And I thought that was such a nice confession, like helping someone in a way that like doesn't make them feel like they're taking. Do you know what I mean? I just thought that was really sweet, and I wanted to share that. But that wasn't someone that wrote it in. I just want to make that clear, because it's probably easily accessible online, and I'm not taking anyone else's content, just to let you know. I thought that was so nice. So my confession, I went on holiday with a friend when me and my partner were on a break. See, already this is techie, because people's perspectives of breaks are so different. Like to me, I've been on a break in my relationship. It's a part, in my opinion. I'm so black and white. Like we're in or we're out. If we're on a break, we're basically not together. Because when you say, okay, but I'm on a break, but you can't do this and you can't do that, and you have to tell me when you're home, and it's like, yeah, just be together then. Like I don't know about your thoughts on that, but I find taking a break, it's kind of like, I totally understand it and totally get why people do it, but I think it can create more harm than good, because then you're like doing somersaults in your head, being like, okay, well, what are they doing on their break? Well, but don't they owe to tell me this? But then in their head, they're like, well, we're on a break, we're not together, blah, blah. Oh, it's just so techie. Anyway, so that started with, I went on holiday with my friend when me and my partner were on a break. But I stuck up the Ring camera in the house and heard him bragging to his mates that he's sleeping with all sorts of people. Luckily, I can look back and laugh on it now, because we're still together. We managed to work things through, but at the time I felt like an FBI agent. I don't know about that one. Like that's pretty just like you were on a break anyway. So this is what I mean about breaks. Like breaks to me are so, is the word subjective I want to use, or objective? I think breaks to me are so subjective. Like like just be in or out, because then your boyfriend's on a break sleeping around and you're having to put up your Ring camera to listen and be like detective FBI, but then you work through things anyways. Well, anyways, I'm happy they're like happy, but I just think breaks, again, they're just so crazy subjective. And if it was me, as I say, I'm just out. Like, if it's not working, we won't take a break. I'll take the back door, you take the front door, and if it works in the future, it works in the future. I had a booty call at my nan's house when I was 15. I was young and I was house sitting, but I had sex in her bed. No. The poor nan. You've just violated your nan's bedroom. I could never. That's your nan. That one is a bit deep, but obviously she was like young and.
Did you change the sheets?
Yeah. Did you wash the sheets with like extra special freaking fairy detergent. I hope your nan's house was sparkling after. Get rid of all evidence. Oh, this to me is like crazy. I don't know if it's just me though and other people won't think it's that deep, but I slept with my ex-boyfriend's dad to get back at him for cheating on me.
Shame on the dad.
No. Yeah, but like that to me is like crazy. Like you're in a relationship with someone, you break up, so you sleep with the dad to get back at him. That's incestuous. Incestual?
So they're all still in a relationship.
I don't think they're back together.
But they were all in a relationship. Well, not all of them were in a relationship. They were in a relationship.
So the person writing in and the son of the family were in a relationship. He cheated, so they broke up, and to get back at him, she slept with the dad. But like, to me, this is crazy. I have so many questions. Like, is there still a wife in the picture? Is there still a mom in the picture? Like, to me, the dad is like, that makes me feel sick. Like, what the hell? Like, can you fathom that? Like, can you fathom that? Can you actually fathom that? Because I can't. Like, for me, I'm kind of like, girl, you're crazy. And the dad, you're crazy. I hope you're freaking over 18 as well.
There must have already been sexual tension between them.
But again, that's so weird. Like, if the sexual tension, like, I don't even want to think about it and, like, put myself in the shoes. Like, no, that to me is, like, so... How do you sleep at night? For me, more so the dad. Does the son know? I have so many questions. But they're not back together. So she's just done the deed.
The dad and the son.
Yeah, that is a very awkward, really awkward one. But then, like, I have more questions. Like, imagine I asked her and she was like, and now me and the dad are together.
Yeah, we need a follow-up.
With so many follow-ups. Okay, I think that's our last one, though. So I'd just like to conclude by saying the craziest one to me is the aeroplane one. Like, we need to get the girl on the podcast. We need more details. We need the guy as well. We need the full love story. We need to know what's happening. We need to know what the agenda is for the next few months, whether this is still coming into fruition or whether, you know, it was just a crazy plane situation and you've done it. I need to know how you did it.
Yeah,
there's so many blurred lines, but that to me is crazy. But as I said, thank you so much to everyone who wrote in. I really wanted this one to be just a short, snappy, light-hearted, original, to the core topic Tuesdays for you to just laugh about and talk about with your friends. I hope you watch this with your friends, your partners. Pause me, go back, revisit. And I really, really hoped you enjoyed it. Coming up next week, we're back with a very special guest who I know you'll be so excited to see, talking about a brand new topic. So please like, comment, give me your feedback, subscribe. Check the previous video if you didn't get to see it with Taylor, talking all things relationships, babies, postpartum, hormones. And thanks so much for watching. Love you all so much. Take care. Bye.